doing ribbon work, it's especially important to note your safety features. Especially with ribbon, absolutely no jewellery at all, earrings, watches, bracelets, but then any professional dancer wouldn't be wearing these anyway, whether it be class or performance. And you can tell a good teacher because they certainly wouldn't allow it from any age or any standard. Also make sure any laces on your shoes are double knotted because you don't want to be treading on those while you're working out your ribbon and thinking of that. And also of course a good space, no ornaments, no indoors. And of course you want a good space, so certainly not in your house where you can be hitting ornaments. You want a good dance hall space, no columns in the middle of course or anything like this, or any obstacles on the floor about you. Or if you're practicing at home, why not try outside? If you don't have a large garden, why not go to the local park, playground, or anywhere like this with a big space. So today we're going to be using the 6 metre gymnastic ribbon. This is the full length ribbon that they use in the Olympics. Don't forget, practice in your bad hand. You'll have a good hand and a bad hand. I always work with my bad hand and it does improve your good hand. So when you've accomplished one 6 metre ribbon, why not try with 2 6 metre ribbons and really get your coordination going. This is for the high standards of all. By now you will be using acrobatics in your dance and throws and very impressive moves with no more than one of each move before progressing to the next. And remember, always keep your ribbon moving. Today I'm going to go back to simplicity for the 6 metre because I'm assuming this is the first time you've encountered a 6 metre ribbon. So there's no reason you can't go right back to the very first moves that we learned with the very first ribbon. So check back all my other videos and start those again but using the 6 metre ribbon. Today I'm going to show you some actual combinations, but I'm going to do it slowly and break it down so you can actually watch. So remember, my ribbon won't flow as well as yours will because you'll be doing the moves faster and more continually. But if I did it like that, you wouldn't be able to see properly what I'm doing. So remember, this is a tutorial, so I'm showing it slowly rather than a display. If you want to see a display, then you need to go and watch rhythmic gymnastics or something like this. So remember, this is a tutorial, so my ribbon work will be slower. So therefore, the very end of my ribbon, the tail, will not always complete the moves because I'm not moving fast enough. But I want you to be able to see what to do slowly. And unfortunately, ribbon can't be demonstrated very slowly without it not being completely accurate movements. When you do it, make them faster moves. Make sure you've really got each step before continuing with the next one. And remember, don't think about the wand making the shape. You need to think about the very end of the ribbon called the tail. Think about that making the shape and make sure that finishes the shape as the wand begins the next shape. Don't forget, if you've got knots in your ribbon, that means you didn't make big enough shapes. And if you get tangled in it, again it means not big enough shapes. You need to keep the ribbon bigger away from you. So we're going to do a little combination now. Remember, I'm going to show things more than once, but in your routines, just use each movement once. Now some further simple steps. We're going to start with T-shape with floor stirs, which is a good step to have as one of your go-to shapes. This means a step where if you're somebody who forgets or gets out of time easily, you have a step where you can stop, make a shape and keep the ribbon moving until you get back onto track. or if you just get quite tired with the ribbon, it's a nice breather. So have your own go-to shape that you can make whenever you need a breather or to get back into time. So T-shape is one of those things. So you're just going to make your stirring, but lifting the back leg. Of course, the more accomplished you are, the further down you can go. You could even go penché, which is when your head is down and your leg is up on a diagonal. But that's for your more accomplished gymnast, acrobatic or dancer. So I'm doing more simple things today. Another simple step that travels, because you don't want your ribbon routine to be on the spot. You need to do something on the spot, travel. Do something there, travel. Something else, travel. And each of your travels should be a different location in the room. And don't forget to change direction a lot of the time, and height. So you want some down things, middle and up. You don't want all up movements with the ribbon or the body. If you're bringing floor work in, you can make a separate floor routine or try putting floor work within the dance routine. But make sure you have movements to get down and up. That's an actual dance move with the ribbon. So a good travelling step in any direction is carouse. You can make very high figure of eights as you travel backwards with carouse. I'm always coming down the centre for these. And turning round, you can make different forms of lassos. So you could go down and up with them. Down and up, down and up. So they're going round behind your head and then down to the floor. And don't forget, always finish in a position, but it's nice to keep the ribbon moving on the end, particularly if your music fades out. And make a good pose. Also at the beginning, you always need a pose. So let's try some of that with music. Routines, you could put in assemble soutenu on turn on, which means bringing the feet together and turning. So there's variant forms of this, but normally you'd face a corner, prepare behind, fondue. Take it round to the side, to the front, which is your corner, draw up into a rise and pivot. You can make as much or as less as a turn as you want, but they're normally a whole turn. But of course in this instance I finished facing the front, so I could then go on to something facing the front. Or you could make the full turn to the corner and then continue in that direction. So you could use your assemble soutenu to progress to the corner, but make sure you begin facing that corner if you're going to make the full turn. So stretch behind the fondue, take your foot round to the side. There'd be no stopping, but you must show each position. Round to the corner, which is your front, up, and pivot round as much as you want to pivot, and carry on with your next step. So now we're going to put a few more steps together. You could join everything I've done in these videos together and make one long routine if you want a long routine. Just make sure your joins work well together. You can always shuffle steps around or leave something out if you don't like it, or add something else in you like, or even change the arms. So we could begin with spirals or trails. Then you could go into passes, because then we could change the ribbon to the other direction, so it's not the ribbon keep going round and round the same way. So if you do a turn and then pass that way. It'd be nice to add something like a turn in with that, so you're changing direction and creates a movement. So we could have spiral, turn. Then you could go into your semblé suiting you, lunging into this corner, bringing the foot round, and up to you what you want to do with the ribbon. And a nice turn on the end is an attitude spin where you step and you put your leg up as you spin. Lots of little circles round the head. Looks quite nice with that. So try those. Put those in somewhere in your routines.